sure. Okay, yeah, so we're not inside. I don't want speaker view. So I want gallery view there. So I should be able to see both of us. And as I said, this doesn't always necessarily flow perfectly.
That's just fine. Life is messy. It's all good.
And right now I'm trying to figure out whether or not we're actually going speaker view or if we have just one, but we'll see that part in a second. So I'll check that. Okay, so now I'm going to hit record on Zoom as our backup. And so I want to welcome everybody to Monday Whispers chat. And today is, so first we, for those of you who are, this is the first time that you're following Monday Whispers chat, is that the focus of Monday Whispers chat is about being able to feature amazing and inspiring women. And that is one of the focuses that that I bring with Monday Whispers chat. And so I was just talking with Jacqueline before we actually hopped on about how things don't always go as planned. And so the important thing for me about Monday Whispers chat is about it being a natural flowing, free-flowing conversation with ups and downs, because that's exactly what it is that life is about. And so because life isn't perfect, and so that part there is like really important. And so one of the things when I first started Monday Whispers chats is that I started getting really anxious when things didn't go exactly the way that they were supposed to. And I have learned that it's all good. So I want to welcome Jacqueline Rolandelli.
Rolandelli, well done. Yes.
My name growing up was Roland, so Rolandelli is actually it flows pretty easily for me.
Perfect.
So Jacqueline is actually going to share about the Holy Womb and the spiritual womb and the connection with the soul. So Jacqueline is an international teacher, healer, and mother. She serves as a spiritual guide, assisting clients in transformational soul healing, and she helps others heal themselves, face their pain, and transform the experience and learn from it. So Jacqueline offers rites of passage, ceremonial rituals, mentoring and healing sessions, as well as classes and deep dive retreats worldwide. She's an IET, so integrated energy therapist, shamanic practitioner trained in esoteric womb mysticism, from both Eastern and Western traditions, and she's currently a student at in the Indian saint Sri Kaleshwar.
Kaleshwar, yes.
Did I say that right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So Jacqueline is devoted to reclamation. There we go. So there's my fumbling again. So Jacqueline is devoted to the reclamation of our deep feminine ancestral wisdom, activating our unique giftedness, healing our lineage, and living life fully embodied. It's time to elevate consciousness, heal our hearts and wombs, and embody our highest expression and have fun co-creating in this new world of our sacred earth. So today she's going to be sharing the Holy Womb and the spiritual womb, and the connection with the soul. So it's I'm really excited to have Jacqueline here. And Jacqueline was actually scheduled to be here back in December, and then there was just some things that were going on, November or December, and with some things that were going on, and it was just, it was like, okay, let's just do a fresh start. And so I am thankful that she's decided that she's going to come back and join us today. So welcome, Jacqueline.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So
thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. One of the things that I said earlier on is that usually I have the visual cues. So like I'm actually used to being able to physically see how people are moving. So my anxiety is just up a little bit, but I'm going to just take a few deep breaths and just bring it back. But one of the things so can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Is there anything that in the intro that that I didn't share, or is there anything more that you think that people need to know or would like to know?
Hello?
Hi, are you still there?
I am. The whole thing just went down for a second.
We are definitely filled with glitches tonight.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Tech gremlins.
And I'm just going to breathe through them. Okay, and whoever it is that is watching is going to get nice chuckles out of this.
Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me. And thank you to everybody who is joining the call, whether it be now or later. It's a great service that you're offering, bringing people together in this way, and doing it with so much love and freedom. Yeah, life is messy. And so it's beautiful to just be in the space and watch the unfolding. As for me not revealing myself in form, I am not feeling well. And it was a major concerted effort for me to be able to shower and prepare myself. So I am showing up in the way that I best can right now. So you'll have to excuse my nasally voice and just listen beyond and go deeper. So thank you.
And I so appreciate that you still were able to take the time tonight to be able to do this. I know what it's like when you're not feeling well. So it's definitely appreciated that you're actually doing this. So for those of you who are joining on a replay, hashtag replay, and Jacqueline and I will definitely come back and respond to anything that you guys have. And if you guys are catching the... if you guys are on live, then let me know that you guys are here, and I've got it set up so that I can actually see comments on my phone, and so we'll go from there. So tell me a little bit more about the womb space. So like, what does that mean for people that don't know or want to know a little bit more?
You know, it's interesting because I've been sitting with this over the past couple of days, sort of some new approach and new way of looking at this at a grander perspective, but also in a way that people can really engage with it. So the womb we have is obviously for females, it is a physical space. And it is a space that more and more people are talking about and referencing because over 5,000 years of suppression, we have actually not been relating to our bodies, our connection as feminine wisdom keepers. So now it's a time of coming back into union with ourselves. So there's a great deal of awareness around the mysteries of the womb. So on a human level, there is the need for women to reconnect with what is intrinsically their feminine birthright and power, what makes us unique, what makes us creators. And so that is one luscious and beautiful piece, which is combined with health and well-being and birthing potential for our female psyche. And then there is a broader perspective of the Holy Womb being the cosmic portal, the oracle, the original space, the sacred well, the place that is the divinary, devotionary space where all things cosmic and earth, heaven is actually inside of our bodies. So there is a sacred place inside of women called the Holy Womb Chakra. And it is all the great mystery schools of our time knew these mysteries. And we are just now at a time on the planet where the timeline is just appropriate for all of this wisdom and ancient knowledge to start funneling back through. And that's why you have you, me, and all of these amazing women all over the planet really starting to bring down all of this wisdom, because it's the time on the planet for it to actually be received. So the Holy Womb itself is it's a spiritual center inside of the female form. So regardless of whether or not you have a physical womb still, if you've had a hysterectomy, you still have a holy womb because it is an energetic space that resides in the body. It's actually residing inside the soul. And when women are speaking about womb healing is such a diverse area, because it's everything, because creation is everything. But some women are speaking about it from the physical perspective, and some people are speaking about it from this oracular space, this this womb void space, where the Divine Mother is intrinsically connected in through our womb chakra and through our bodies. And both principles are equally needing full awareness. So it's beautiful that so many threads are being weaved at this time. And my focus is on both. And so in the community of women that I serve, and men, because men also have a holy womb chakra, they don't have the physical power spot of the womb, but they have the holy womb chakra. And it's different in the way that they utilize theirs, because ours goes directly from us to our mothers and straight through the lineage back to the main source, Divine Mother. But for men, they need a woman in order for them to access it. So for example, my son, in order for him to use certain powers and certain capacities, he has to use my womb, because he doesn't have one, which is the same thing that Jesus did with Mother Mary's womb. So this is a very deep and powerful understanding that men and women both have this sacred space. And this information is just now coming back in so that we can utilize it to bring forward great liberation, clearing of karma, healing timelines, everything that is centered inside of the womb, which is the mother, all of time, all of what people refer to as the Akashic records, all of the soul records, everything is in the womb space. So it's an incredible, vast body of wisdom and knowledge that I don't know that we'll ever have full understanding of, because the mystery is so grand.
So, and probably over time, that's going to, more knowledge will actually, will be shared. And one of the things that, from the things that I've learned and the things that I've experienced and the things that others have shared, is that all of this knowledge is knowledge that was actually going on years before and centuries before, but it is now, now that we actually have, that we were actually tapping back into it again, then it's kind of coming back to light again, where people are actually able to get some information and share that information and learn that wisdom. So, so yeah, this is pretty interesting how that is actually going on and happening. So, so again, if you are hopping on, because I can see that a couple of people have hopped on, is if you have any questions or if you guys have any comments, or just say, hey, let us know that you're actually here. Because I'm not looking at it the same way that I normally do. So some of you who I normally can see that you're actually on when we get the little green box, I can't see that on my phone. So if you guys are hopping on, then please let us know that you're here. We'd love to know who's watching. We'd love to hear some feedback from you. So what are some of the things that, so you gave a great explanation about how that part of it works. And one of the questions that I was going to ask that you already answered was about how that works for men, because we all have the different, our male and female chakras. And so I wasn't sure how that part of it worked in terms of the womb space. So I love the explanation that you gave. I love the being able to have that knowledge of the fact that if my boys are tapping into whatever it is that they're wanting to tap into in terms of their womb space, they think that I'm woo-woo. So at this point in their life, that's not what they're doing. But I know that my youngest son's girlfriend is definitely into understanding and loves learning about this stuff. But otherwise, both of my boys think that I'm absolutely nuts, and that's okay. They're young adults, and and that's all great. But I love the fact that I know that they can actually still tap into that energy. And so thank you for sharing that, because that was definitely going to be one of my questions, is how do men connect with that womb space? Because I know that it was there. I just didn't know how to do that. So
thank you. And yeah, I relate about the children piece too. My son is sort of woo-woo. So, but sometimes he shuts it off and he's like, what? Uh, but yeah, it is really important for our men to know that. And my teacher just really is very clear around the power of the female kingdom, that what we can do in 14 months may take a man 14 years to do. And that this is something that just simply is, that we were given this sacred power spot inside of us, both the etheric and the physical. So it's a great gift for us to be in female bodies at this time. And I'm kind of like leaning in right now to what do I really feel like is so important to share about the womb while we're on this call? Like, what do I feel like if there was just a moment of time that a woman was listening to this, how she could be touched? And yeah, I just say that and my heart's like, just, I want to, if I may, just share that the coming back to remembering our value and how powerful we are as women is so intrinsically important to our health and our well-being. And we have been walking around in a fog of distortion around who we are and our capacity to create life. And if our wombs, in this reconnection to just like awareness of like, oh my God, I came from a mother and a grandmother, and I have created children or not created children, whatever it is, but like just, it's all there. There is no greater miracle than our expression and who we are and what our God-given capabilities are. So for women, the first step is just connecting with your own physical womb and coming into alliance and like love with what that even means, like our whole organs, what they look like, from our vagina, our vulva, like everything, just really coming into a deeper understanding of this is who I am, this is what I have, and accepting that. Because that's actually a huge thing for us to be doing, because for all of our lives, most of that has been muted. We weren't taught that our bodies were beautiful. We're still healing from so much shame, and ancestral thousands of years of women, from violence to shame. So it hasn't always been safe to be a woman. So the mystery of life, everything is going to start there. So it's important for us now to really support one another in just reconnecting with that space.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do in one of the traditions I follow, I have a very strong kinship with the Mary lineage, as many of us do. And in the traditions that I follow through the Indian Vedic traditions around the Holy Womb Chakra teachings, it's all Mother Mary. She knew these teachings. Jesus practiced them. When he went to India, these are the teachings that he used, that she used. And I just want to point out to people that Mother Mary was a figure that was a human flesh woman, not just an icon. And that what her capacity in her womb, can you imagine what her womb must have been like? What she had to do to purify and care for it so that it could emanate and hold the container to be able to hold such a divine, high-powered soul as Jesus. And we are being asked and being presented with the same teachings and wisdom to bring that through our planet now, to embody the same power, gifts as these divine beings. so that we can like foster and nurture children into this world that will be free of a lot of the pain and suffering that many of us had to go through. So I feel like it's a revelation, and it's such a freedom and an excitement that we are the ones we've been waiting for. They just did that entire Maya, that whole play for us so that they could show us and hold the teachings for us, so that now, thousands of years later, they're like, here, take this, use it, go, do it. It's time. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that definitely is. And so as you're sharing and talking, it took me into what some of my teachings have been in terms of the Aboriginal ancestry that we have is as Métis. And so the grandmother teachings that we've had was that that when, especially at the time of a full moon, because the mother moon, grandmother moon, is definitely one of our female lineage, but that whole power, right? So it's like when you are on your moon time, and so like really fits into the teachings that I've had, as well as what it is that you've shared, and makes so much sense in terms of that womb power, right? So and so it's never been explained to me in terms of that womb space. And so other than during our moon time, that is a very powerful time for us. And because of the fact that we actually are women, and that we actually have the ability to have that moon time. And so so this makes perfect sense in terms of how you explain that. So thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's incredible to know that through these ancient technologies, we can, it's not that anything about us is dirty. We're really beautiful and whole. It's just that we have collected over time and continue to collect in an energetic, some days it's a storm, right? So it just depends on what's going on. But we keep creating karmas, whether they're negative, positive is irrelevant. We just are in human form. So we are working through things, and we're also creating. So in caring for the womb and creating regular care for this space, the esoteric and the physical, we then can restore this place to a holy temple. And then it changes the trajectory of the way we relate to one another, and the way we bring our wisdom and our energy to the world. Because a womb that has been very abused, has suffered a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain, which is, I would say, a major portion of our planet. When we look at homelessness, it's because people are disconnected and their womb has been damaged. So when we look at all of these different places where people are not in their bodies, it's because the womb is damaged. They can't be at home.
Okay. That I really like how you explain that. That is really cool. So cool in the sense of like,
no, I get it. Yeah.
Information, but like not in a sense of that disconnect. And so so I really like how you're able to bring that that knowledge, where we're actually able to, that knowledge, that wisdom of us being able to understand where our disconnect is. So whether, like you said, through homelessness or through whatever that disconnect is, and there is different ways that we are disconnected from ourselves.
Yes.
And so it's and like you said, from abuse, from the different experiences, and even just from having and living in patriarchal societies, right?
Absolutely.
So like that plays a huge role. And so and not to take away from men, because we have amazing, loving and caring and supportive men, but we also have some very to the other extreme where that is where we've been quieted. That is where it used to be that women were honored in many different traditions, where women that were actually on their moon time were actually honored, and they actually went and gathered together and supported each other. And then it became over time became, like you said, became very dirty and very whereas it's not. It is very much it's a very much spiritual connection. And I wish that I would have known that prior to having my moon cycles changed, right? So my own personal cycles have changed, that I no longer have them anymore. But it's that knowledge and that experience of I wish that I would have been able to honor that at the time when I'm able to do that. So any opportunity that I have with young women is being able to honor that. So having my nieces get celebrating that time, like their very first time, and having friends or when I have because I had two boys, so I didn't have that experience with my boys, but like being able to make sure that they were actually able to honor that time as becoming women, and honoring and supporting that. So learning the different things like what you're sharing is really important for me and for other women to be able to hear and gain that knowledge. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So is there anything else that that you think is really important for women to know in terms of that healing, that womb space?
I think it's really pretty much a 911 call right now for women to connect to their womb space. And I want to remind women too, from the perspective where I'm speaking from, again, it's the physical, but it's the home of the soul. So when we incarnate, we come in through the womb chakra, we come in through the body, through the womb. So it's actually the resting place of the soul. So although we have soul energy in our hearts, the major space where the womb rests, where the soul rests, is in the womb. So we would want to make sure that that is an ordained, clean, and loving temple space. And we see through the patriarchal structure and the pain that so many women have been suffering, me included, with fibroids, endometriosis. The home, the female home, has been damaged at some level. So it takes a great deal. It actually, in the positive scheme of things, it's a great way for us to be called back, the mother calling us back to do the healing, to reconnect, to understand more, and to face whatever it is that is there, whether it's regardless of what the disease or discomfort may be on the physical level. Yeah. But it all can be addressed. And many women lose their wombs and don't even understand, because our society wasn't even set up to show them that these organs hold such an important psychological value, that women go through traumatic grief and don't even understand that there is a need for grieving. Therefore, there's a disconnect immediately in their psyche. And so they detach from themselves. And again, then they're no longer at home. And so then we sort of leave ourselves and we're not fully intrinsically embodied. So it's just so important for women in any which way to start calling in support, really educating themselves around what we put inside of our bodies, who we put inside of our bodies. That's another major component, because that's how we really, if I had known that growing up, I was pretty busy as a teenager, and I enjoyed sex and I was kind of busy. And so the spiritual teachings basically are like, the reason that your womb chakra gets so disturbed is because every time you're coming into union with somebody, you're touching souls, you're collecting. We're almost like a dumping ground. When a man ejaculates inside of us, all of his pain, all of his feelings come into us, and we need to transmute it. But if we're not online, not connected to our power source, and don't know how to use it, then we become distorted, disconnected, and take on energies that are not ours. And we embody them as though they are. And then we create more pain and suffering in our own bodies, because we don't know how to transmute and support ourselves in boundarying and understanding what we have and what we need to do. So I guess the bottom line is, woman as sanctuary, and like lovingly and compassionately coming back into understanding of what it looks like for us to honor ourselves and to become educated around our super unique powerful bodies that Divine Mother uses as instruments for the entire creation.
Wow, like that is so powerful. And so my background is in mental health, for those who don't know that. And one of the things is that after women have had hysterectomies, is that I've had those conversations with some of the women who've had that removed, or I've had a hey Mimi, or I've had somebody who based on had a tubal pregnancy that had ruptured, and so but still had one active ovary. And so husband was told, okay, you need to make a decision. Are we only removing one? Are we removing both? Like, what's going on? And like, do we do a tubal while we're there? And and so the husband made the decision that that was what was going to happen, is that they did the tubal on the other. So they repaired the side, and naturally that they repaired the side that needed to be repaired because of the damage caused by the pregnancy. But then the other side was still active and healthy. And she went through a huge loss of like, how could you do that to me? Why would you take that right, or that like, why didn't you just prepare just the one thing without having and letting me decide if I wanted to go through a second surgery, if that was what it is that I wanted to do. So really a huge loss of identity.
Yes.
And when when the husband tried to defend the decision, it was like, well, you almost died. Like, there was like, it was critical, and we didn't know if you were going to be okay or not going to be okay. And I didn't want to risk that for you a second time. And so it was out of love and compassion that he had made that decision, but it still took away that identity of who she was. And so that was really devastating for her. And so us being able to remember that and honor that, of like, and sometimes we have to make that decision ourselves, but and so we have to come to grips or come to terms with those choices. And sometimes it has to do with cancer. It has to do, it has to do, like you said, with the fibroids. And so for me, my womb is still there, but I no longer have my cycle because we did an ablation.
Okay.
So physically my womb is still there. However, I no longer have the cycle, which is part of that whole healing and transition and that kind of thing. And so, so those parts of us are still really important for us to be able to remember and honor, and be able to hold those spaces. So that makes huge sense. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And thank you for sharing your story. And I just want to reflect back that even though whether woman is cycling still or not, your full superpower is still always available regardless. The blood is a different, we still energetically bleed when we're not, when we're no longer in that phase. But I understand that is psychologically, we move through cycles and understanding. So there's a lot that we process around that. But it is, nothing can ever be taken from us as women. Everything is there. Everything that has been taken before can be restored now. The Great Mother is bringing it all back. And through our awareness and these incredibly potent ancestral threads and waves of consciousness, we are able to restore, repair, and come back into wholeness, and just share the beauty and the devastation of what has taken place inside of our bodies, because they're part of our human experience. It's so rich to be a woman.
Well, and that is just beautiful. Like, there's that's beautiful and hits me in the pit of my stomach, right? So like, it's like, wow, that is just incredible that we actually are able to do that. And and that women have that ability of being able to heal,
yes,
and restore. And so yes, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
So now one of the things that I wanted to find out is whether or not, like, so how do people work with you? Or do you have anything that you have to offer? Well, obviously you have lots of things to offer. You've shared many, many things that you have to offer, but something formalized that you have to offer. Do you have
Got
anything?
it. I do. So there's a couple of things that I'm doing currently. I'm actually pretty busy right now, so that's a beautiful thing. I have room for two more clients that are looking to deep dive, so looking for a longer term commitment to explore. And so I have room for two more mentees who are really looking to explore the depths of their feminine wisdom and beauty. I do also, I have room for rites of passage. They are energetic, essentially recapitulations, redos of our first menstruation, which is a super powerful journey to reactivate stem cells, DNA, and really wake up the womb grid again and bring a great source of life force and power that was not previously brought in due to circumstances when we were younger. So I'm happy to offer those sessions as well. So I am offering a few things. I don't have any new programs at the moment, but spring will be fruitful.
Awesome. That is great. So if you can actually put your links of how to be able to access those in the comments, that would be great for viewers to be able to see.
Sure.
And for those of you who are catching the replay, then hashtag replay, so that way there, share your experiences or share your knowledge, your wisdom, as well as if you have any questions for Jacqueline. Usually I say, well, Jacqueline or I'll get back to you on if you actually comment, but there's in terms of like my knowledge about this, actually that's not true. I guess there is some things that I do know, but definitely making sure that you're actually connecting with Jacqueline to be able to get some of those wise questions answered. And so that is so that's amazing. So in the description box at the top, I do have Jacqueline's contact information. And so like if there's something in terms of a specific link that you have for program, then putting it in the description box or like in the comments in the on this Facebook feed, then that would be awesome. And so that would be that'd be great. So thank you so much for this. Thank you for taking the time out of your illness. Because I know what it feels like to be sick and just not want to actually move forward. And so thank you very much for doing this. And thank you for everyone watching, for the understanding and the appreciation for Jacqueline joining us despite being under the weather and allowing us to appreciate you in terms of being able to hear your voice. And I'm not sure. I've been trying to watch on the Facebook page. So until I actually go back and watch it again, I'm not sure that we can that we can actually see your beautiful picture. So because we're on the Zoom call, I see her beautiful picture of what she looks like. But I think that on the Facebook page, the way that Zoom is bringing it up is that it only comes up black screen with your name. So, so for those of you who don't know who she is, perhaps what she can do is she can actually post a picture of her in the comments, just so that you can actually see her beautiful face, because she is beautiful inside and out. And thank you so much for doing this. And I want to put a shout out to Tiziana, and I'm actually going to tag her in this because she's the one who linked us together. And so so she thought that you were amazing when I put a call out for inspiring women. You were one of the people that she tagged. So I'm gonna tag Tiziana as well.
Oh, beautiful.
I want to put that shout out to her. So thank you so much for everybody joining us. And if you are an inspiring woman, or if you know of an inspiring woman that you think that we should be featuring, then I will put the link below for people to be able to sign up. to be able to connect, because now I have a little bit more of a process that is a little easier for me to be able to manage that, which was part of the glitches over November and December. And so thank you for all of you who have watched and that are catching the replay. And I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to 2 steps here. I'm going to stop the live stream.